Hey everyone! Today I want to share with you one of my best travel tips. As for my travel style, I consider myself a bit of a flashpacker. A flashpacker is like a backpacker. They're both budget travelers. They travel light, often with a backpack or a small bag. They move around a lot. But the difference is a flashpacker is willing to spend a little bit more money on a nice meal or a nice experience or even on a slightly nicer room that's going to be much more comfortable. And what I'm talking about today is simply a way to get way more value for your money than a hostel could ever offer. And that's through a website called Airbnb. This is a website where people put their apartments and spaces online for other people to rent. Now sometimes that's the entire apartment, sometimes it's just a private room. And as you're searching for places, you can adjust the filter to find exactly what you're looking for. Now, for example, a few months ago, we were looking for a place to stay in Melbourne, Australia for a week. There was 4 of us. At one point, we were talking about getting separate places, and so my husband and I started researching what would be available for us. We didn't want to spend a lot because we weren't working at the time, so we were really looking at the budget options. Now, this is in summer in Melbourne, Australia, the height of the tourist season, so all the prices were a lot more than usual. Plus, we had left it to the last minute and we only had about 2 weeks to find a place, so a lot of things had already been booked. Now, in a lot of the hostels, you could get a private dorm bed for about 33 Aussie dollars. So for 2 people looking at getting 2 dorm beds, you're already looking at 70 Aussie dollars per night. My husband and I have stayed in our fair share of dorms, but I have to say we are at a place in our life where we are no longer interested in sharing a room with 10 other people. Mainly because it can be so noisy and you can't really get a good quality of sleep. So we looked at private rooms in hostels, and a private room for 2 people in a hostel during the high season was coming to 115 Aussie dollars. Now, it would have been a little bit less if we had opted for a shared bathroom, but not that much less. And again, because it was at the last minute, a lot of the 2- and 3-star hotels in the area were coming around the same price. So in the end, we ended up booking an entire house on Airbnb. Now, this house could have accommodated 6 people, but there was only 4 of us, so we split the cost 4 ways. This house was 1,300 Aussie dollars for 7 nights, including all the taxes and Airbnb booking fees. That's about 1,000 US dollars. So if you do the math, that comes to about 95 Aussie dollars a night for both my husband and I. Now, I'm definitely going to include some footage of this place because it was so beautiful. I would easily class this as a 4-star accommodation. The linens were really high quality, it was decorated beautifully, and it was so comfortable. The host even included an entire basket of snacks for us. Now, before I show you that footage, I am going to talk about a few of the other places we've stayed at just so you can see that was not an isolated incident, that this happens all the time. For example, in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, we stayed in a 5-star, newly built condo with 2 other couples. We stayed on the 34th floor and it had the perfect view of the Kale Tower and the Petronas Towers and the entire skyline. And just a few floors up was a beautiful rooftop infinity pool where we could enjoy that view and hang out. And how much did it cost? It cost about $50 a night per couple. To stay in a hotel in Kuala Lumpur that would have been comparable to where we were staying would have cost 3 or 4 times what we were paying. It was an amazing deal and we had an amazing time. Another good example is Penang. When we were there, the cost of a dorm in a hostel was between 30 and 40 ringgit a night. So for 2 people, that would be 60 to 80 ringgit. If you wanted a private room in a hostel, that would start at 90 ringgit for a shared bathroom. We ended up in a 5-star condo with several pools, a water slide, and an ocean view for only 90 ringgit a night. Now, this was a shared accommodation, so we were sharing the bathroom and we were sharing the apartment with the people who lived there, but I cannot tell you how lovely that can be sometimes. They know about the area, they're really happy to give you one-on-one tips about what to do and where to eat. The advice that they give you is invaluable. And in this case, we're still in contact with the couple that we stayed with. It's a great way to make friendships and connect with people from all around the world. Sometimes it comes with other benefits. In Langkawi, we stayed with a German lady and she allowed us to rent her motorbike for almost nothing. She also cooked us a full German breakfast every morning, which was absolutely delicious. If you're thinking about trying to book a place on Airbnb, I do have a few important tips for you. The most important one is book early. Once it's gone, it's gone. These places are unique. It's not like a hotel, they're one of a kind. And the best ones with the best reviews will go first. I have been known to book my Airbnbs as far as 6 months in advance, and if you want the best value for money, you have to book as soon as possible. The other important tip is to read the reviews. This is essential if you want to avoid a nightmare. It's not hard to find hosts who have 50, 100, even 200 5-star reviews. You know you're going to be safe if you go with those. If you choose a place that either has no reviews or average reviews, chances are you're not going to have the best experience. So without further ado, I'm going to show you a house tour of the place we were renting in Melbourne, Australia. Stay tuned to the end because I'm going to include some footage from our road trip on the Great Ocean Road. This is one of the day trips that we had while we were staying in Melbourne, and it's one of the most beautiful and amazing experiences I've had yet. I'd love to hear from you guys. Have you ever used Airbnb when you're traveling? Leave a comment and let me know how it went. Thanks for watching.